Every year, thousands of people vanish. Some leave behind clues, some disappear in plain sight, and others seem to vanish into thin air. Today, we dive into 5 chilling cases of people who disappeared and were never seen again. Some say they ran away. Others believe something darker happened. Let's uncover the stories that were never solved. On May 14, 2008, 19-year-old Brandon Swanson was driving home after celebrating the end of the spring semester with his friends. Around 1:54 a.m., his car got stuck in a ditch. He called his parents for help, telling them he was near the town of Lind, Minnesota. His parents drove out to find him, but they couldn't see his car. Brandon stayed on the phone with his dad, trying to guide him. He said he was going to walk toward the lights of a nearby town. Suddenly, after 47 minutes on the phone, Brandon yelled, "Oh, Shasterisk T." The call went silent. That was the last anyone ever heard from him. Imagine this. It's a cold February night in 2004. A young college student, Maura Murray, tells her professors she has a family emergency and needs to leave campus. But here's the twist. There was no emergency. She packs her car, withdraws cash, and drives off, seemingly into the unknown. Hours later, her car is found, crashed into a snowbank on a remote dark road in New Hampshire. A passing bus driver stops and speaks to her. He offers to call for help, but she says she's already called for assistance. He drives off. When police arrive just minutes later, the car is locked and Maura is gone. No footprints in the fresh snow. No signs of a struggle. No witnesses to what happened next. She simply vanished into the thin, cold air. What happened to Maura Murray? It's a question that has haunted investigators and armchair detectives for years. Stay tuned for more true crime mysteries. It was Christmas Eve, 1945, a night that should have been filled with joy. But for the Sodder family, it turned into a living nightmare. A fire suddenly tore through their West Virginia home, forcing parents George and Jenny to flee into the cold night. They watched in horror as their house burned to the ground, believing 5 of their 9 children were trapped inside. But when the smoke cleared and the embers cooled, investigators found something baffling. No bones, no teeth, absolutely no human remains in the ashes. It was as if the children had simply vanished. The official story was that the fire had been hot enough to completely incinerate their bodies. But was that even possible? For years, George and Jenny held on to hope, even putting up a billboard seeking information. Then, 20 years later, a mysterious photo arrived in the mail. It showed a young man who bore a striking resemblance to their missing son, Louis. Was it a cruel hoax, or the first real clue in 2 decades? The Sodder children's disappearance remains one of America's most haunting, unsolved mysteries. Thanks for watching, and don't forget to subscribe for more strange stories. Have you heard about the man who vanished into thin air at an airport? This is the baffling case of Lars Mittank. In 2014, Lars, a German tourist, was enjoying a holiday in Bulgaria with his friends. Things took a dark turn after a fight at a bar left him with a ruptured eardrum. His friends flew home, but Lars had to stay behind for medical reasons. Alone, he grew increasingly paranoid and scared, even calling his mom to say people were trying to kill him. The last time anyone saw him was on airport CCTV. He walked into the terminal, then suddenly, without explanation, he sprinted out, leaving all his belongings, his wallet, phone, and passport. He climbed a fence and disappeared into the dense woods nearby. He was never seen again. What do you think happened to Lars? Let me know in the comments. Thanks for watching. Ever heard of Louis Le Prince? Probably not, but you should have. Forget Thomas Edison for a second. Le Prince was the true pioneer of motion pictures. Way back in 1888, he successfully captured the world's first moving images. He was on the brink of unveiling his groundbreaking invention to the public in New York. But in September 1890, after visiting his brother in France, he boarded a train to Paris and simply vanished. Gone, poof. No body was ever found, no luggage, not a single trace. It was as if he stepped out of existence. Did a rival, maybe someone from Edison's camp, orchestrate his disappearance to steal the glory? Or was it a perfect, untraceable crime? A mystery deliberately lost to the pages of history? What do you think happened to the man who should have been a household name? Let me know your theories below. These stories haunt us not because of what we know, but because of everything we don't. They're echoes in time, leaving behind a silence filled with unanswered questions. What do you believe happened to these people? Were they unsuspecting victims of a tragic fate? Or did they orchestrate their own vanishing act, choosing to leave their old lives behind for reasons we can only guess at? Each theory leads down a different rabbit hole, and the truth remains just out of reach. We'd love to hear your thoughts and theories, so drop them in the comments section below. If you're fascinated by the strange, the baffling, and the unexplained, make sure you hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications. We'll be back next week with more mysteries that continue to puzzle the world. Thanks for watching.